Ancient Sky City Sigiriya has advanced technology. Indian legends describe ancient Hindu deities' superpowers. Sri Lanka, a beautiful island nation, is south of the Indian subcontinent. The breathtaking scenery, rich cultural heritage, and many UNESCO World Heritage Sites make this region famous. A remarkable location in Sri Lanka is Sigiriya, sometimes called the eighth wonder of the world. Sigiriya was an ancient city 650 feet above Dambulla, on a monolithic rock in Sri Lanka's Matale district. Since 1982, the UNESCO World Heritage Site has attracted thousands of visitors daily. Many believe that the massive monolithic rock's perfectly flat top, which almost looks like it was carved at an exact angle, gives it an unnatural aspect. Contemporary archaeologists believe Sigiriya's first habitation was the 5th century Lion's fortress. Kashyapa, a renegade ruler, built most of the site, including its palaces and granite water tank. Locals believe Ravana, an Asura Hindu god, built this historic edifice thousands of years ago. Some believe these gods descended from heaven to dominate humans. In one of our previous documentaries, we detailed the spectacular Rama Setu, an ancient bridge built by Rama to connect Sri Lanka and India while he was fighting Ravana. We offered strong evidence that Rama Setu was an artificial bridge built thousands of years ago by unknown entities. These Hindu epics say Ravana controlled Sri Lanka from Sigiriya, which Rama destroyed. Could what we see in Sigiriya be Ravana's demolished palace? Since the Rama Setu stories were accurate, could Sigiriya stories be too? Should Hindu gods have lived in Sigiriya thousands of years before King Kashyapa built his citadel there? Humans lived near Sigiriya 5,000 years ago in the Mesolithic epoch. Buddhist monks used the region's many rock shelters and caves in the last few centuries before the Common Era. Despite this, conventional archaeologists think the site was first occupied in the late 5th century under King Kashyapa. King Kashyapa ruled Sri Lanka from 473, 495 CE. He took control after orchestrating his father's murder and overthrowing his brother, the legitimate heir. King Kashyapa reportedly went to Sigiriya for safety, in hopes that his brother's army couldn't penetrate the megalithic rock. He built a fortification. Unfortunately, Kashyapa's army was defeated. Instead of being captured by the invading army, Kashyapa committed suicide. After his brother Moggallana died, his brother gave Sigiriya to Buddhist monks, who lived there until the 14th century. Sigiriya was abandoned in the 15th century. Westerners first learned about the place when British soldier Major Jonathan Forbes passed by on horseback. After Forbes' discovery of Sigiriya's old ruins, several Western archaeological crews undertook small-scale excavations on the site and were puzzled by what they found. Sigiriya had various signs of advanced engineering. The ancient city is one of the best preserved urban planning examples, and its layout shows ways and technologies that were unthinkable at the time. The city's symmetry and asymmetry were chosen by the architects to blend in with the natural surroundings. Archaeologists believe the site's multiple constructions were citadels, palaces, villas, and exquisite gardens. A part of the site resembles a Mesoamerican step pyramid. Advanced prehistoric engineering is found in another municipal park on the west side. The park has many water-retaining features, including a complicated hydraulic system that supplies the gardens. Well-planned water pumps, lakes, dams, and canals made this location stand out. Several hydraulic systems still supply the region with water. Numerous buildings on the monolithic rock were built with clay bricks. Archaeologists don't know how the ancient builders moved an estimated 3 million bricks to the mountain's summit without stairways. In the last century, the site's metal stairways were built for visitors. If there's no stairway, carrying bricks or other materials through the deep forest to the summit of the monolithic rock seems impossible. Many of the settlement's paths and palace staircases are made of massive white marble blocks, which are more intriguing than the brickwork. Because the white marble used in construction is not local, archaeologists don't know its origins. Each of the hundreds of marble blocks is heavy. How did ancient builders get tons of marble slabs to the top of the monolithic rock without stairs? Therefore, many now reject the archaeological explanation for the development of this ancient metropolis. Even with modern metal stairs, the summit can take 2 hours. However, without a road, how did prehistoric people convey tons of stuff there? Many archaeologists have found tool marks on the rock face that resemble channels. Archaeologists can confirm that these markings are thousands of years old, but they cannot explain how they were cut into the rock without slopes. The monolithic rock has deep round holes at its peak. Archaeologists again struggle to explain how these holes were made with such primitive tools. These unusual groove marks are around the drilled holes. What they do and how they were made are unknown. The groove markings are near to a deep drill hole in the rock. These odd designs appear to have been fashioned by advanced machinery that melted or drilled through rock. However, the marble blocks, drill holes, and bricks are not the site's most outstanding features. Instead, a gigantic granite water tank dominates the landscape. This water tank appears to be granite from afar. As you approach, you discover that the tank is made of granite, a very sturdy rock. The huge tank is 90 feet long, 68 feet wide, and nearly 7 feet deep. This means almost 3,500 tons of granite had to be hand-removed to build this structure. Granite is one of the hardest stones. If individuals used rudimentary chisels and hammers, it would have taken years to remove. Is this granite tank hollowed out by years of grinding or evidence of more advanced technology? You won't find hammer or chisel marks on the granite pool. Instead, you see large, scoop-shaped markings, like those on Peruvian and Egyptian megalithic sites. Some researchers believe archaic builders altered rock periodicity, making them easier to shape and carve. Is this how they removed so much rock from Sigiriya's summit? Even in Sri Lanka's extreme heat, the tank never dries out. The tank's constant water level is an engineering feat, even with today's technology. The tank looks to gather water using percolation, which is liquid passing through a filter slowly. The tank has an under-tank drainage system that prevents overflow, even during Sri Lanka's monsoon season. After all these engineering feats, many Sigiriya construction issues persist. The strange scoop, marks on the granite, and the massive amount of material needed to build the structure suggest a pre-Diluvian site. Are the remains of Sigiriya an ancient civilization that was flooded or destroyed by nature? Was this high-up spot a flood refuge? The locals embrace this and have myths that state this was the creation of a highly evolved heavenly society. There are no signs of ancient stairs leading to the building's pinnacle. The absence of steps suggests the ancient builders of this site had flying vehicles or anti-gravity technology, according to many academics. Many regional customs share this idea. According to legend, a group of deities fell from the sky to build Sigiriya. When they came on Earth, they based Sigiriya on Kuvara's fortune-granting mansion. Other local stories reassure visitors that Sigiriya is Ravana's palace. According to legend, Ravana built the site's first portions, including the big granite tank, his bathing pool. Ancient writings from India and Sri Lanka indicate Ravana's ancestors were celestial. According to Indian literature, Ravana was an asura, a race of powerful demigods that arrived on Earth thousands of years ago. Many believe these stories are true about alien interactions with Earth. Was Sigiriya built by the asuras, builders who used cutting-edge technology to lift all the metropolis's materials? Hindu mythology often mentions Vimanas, the gods' flying vehicles that took them from heaven to earth and around the world. The Mahabharata, one of India's most renowned scriptures, portrays Asura aerial cities, which included Ravana. Could the Asuras have hired Vimanas to build Sigiriya? Some tales say the Asuras were hybrids, and Ravana is sometimes called a reptilian god. Maybe Sigiriya knows who he is. When you arrive in Sigiriya, two massive carved feet at the main gate greet you. Locals call these lion's claws. However, lions have one small and four huge claws. Sigiriya's three claws make many Thawanis go in and think it's a reptile. We observe three huge toes at Sigiriya's entrance, like most prehistoric reptiles. Locals call these Ravana's feet. Could Ravana have been a humanoid reptile? According to historical manuscripts, only his father was human, not Ravana. His mother may have been a reptile because she was from another species. Thus, Ravana was born a hybrid. Some believe Ravana is related to the Nephilim giants of ancient Hebrew and Christian fiction. Ravana had many human traits, but some distinguished him. Ravana, who was at least 10 feet tall, could shapeshift to mislead people. Reptile-labeled people agree on this. Ravana may also blend in and disappear. All ancient writings mention Ravana's reptile face. The Ramakien said Ravana's skin was green like a lizard. Many snakes still honor Ravana, the reptile king. Old Tamil and Sinhala writings say the Naga were Sri Lanka's initial inhabitants. In modern usage, Naka refers to a snake. But these ancient documents call these hybrid reptilian beings Naga, who were forced to live underground, where some believe they still are. Sri Lanka and Sigiriya mythology grow when you read old manuscripts. What do you think of Sigiriya? Was it built by ape-like beings with primitive tools? Or is there another explanation? Could humanity have carried 3 million bricks or marble blocks to the rock's summit without machinery? 3.5 tons of rock may have been removed without steps. Are traditional archaeologists wrong to date this site to 5th century builders? Should they accept that the initial occupants were ancient builders using an unidentified higher technology? Was Ravana or his otherworldly Asura actually the builders? Could Sigiriya have been home to a highly advanced reptilian deity race with technology above human levels? Did all the old scriptures state these Asura descended from the heavens to mix with humanity and change history?